helps send Bibles to the nations till the whole world knows.
Which mic are you using? One more. Thank you.
Jones Attorneys, Play to Win Studios, BanksandJones.com. This is your Praise 96.3 WJBC FM, Seymour, Knoxville. Praise 96.3.
The way to start your Saturday projects every week. It's Rick's House. Home improvement advice done right.
Oh, good Saturday morning. People up in the Rick's House. Thanks for joining us on the program. Appreciate you being here with us this morning, and excited about being back. I've almost got my good. Almost got my voice back, y'all. I'll tell you what. I appreciate everybody that stuck with us through the live remote that we did last week at Weekend RV. What a great time we had out there with the whole team, Tyler and Charlene, Chastity and Ken and Josh, man, just and X and just a whole bunch of them. I mean, we just had a great time. Had some great classic cars. Folks bought some RVs and some travel trailers. And it's a good time for all. Had a good food. Had a chorizo. It's gonna make Vance happy. Had a chorizo, Italian sausage, beef meatloaf sandwich. What are the chances, Vance, of getting you to eat some chorizo? You don't even know what chorizo is.
No, I don't want to know.
That's Mexican sausage.
Yeah, like I said.
Now, there's two grades of chorizo. There's the grade that's cheap.
The grade that's cheap, yeah.
That
would be my grade.
That's the one I usually eat, and that's the one that when they get done, that's like eating potted meat.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's the premium grade. I don't get to eat that much.
Yeah. Imagine.
But the truth is, it don't taste the same. So we got that going on. Good morning, Ron. Good morning, Brian. Good to see you. Ron, did you send me a new friend request on Facebook? Because I got a couple of those, and I wanted to make sure that was you, that you hadn't got hacked, my brother. Let me know in the chat. And so we've got that going on. Also, so excited to tell you that our newest sponsor, which was an old sponsor back in the day, but our newest sponsor that's come on with us, and we're so excited about, is Miracle Method of Knoxville Surface Refurbishing. Chris and Carrie, Stacy, man, Sebastian, good to see you. What a great job they do on those surfaces, and you're going to hear their new commercial today, and it's just okay. All right, Ron, I'll accept it, and then we'll get that done. What a great job Miracle Method does, and we're going to be having them on the show very soon to talk about it. If you've got a countertop you need resurfaced, they can do it right there in place. If you've got some tile that you don't want to tear out, you just don't like the color of it, they can do that for it. You need to epoxy that floor in the garage for your hot rod. Man, they can do that too. I mean, it's just they are just unlimited in what they can do. And you know what's so cool about it is Chris spent 20 years in NASCAR, and he was a metal hanger. So what that means is,
I want a fender.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or a door.
What that means is it was his job to fit all the body parts of that NASCAR shell together. And you talking about got to be on the money. There is no room for error. It's got to be. He's used to dealing with really tight tolerances, and now he's transferred that over into this business. and just got done doing a bunch of stuff for some big places. Done a bunch of work over at UT, all kinds of places. And we're just tickled to death to have them because it's an affordable solution to that tile floor, tile walls, to the garage, to the avocado green tub you're tired of looking at, the Harvest Gold sink, whatever it may be. They can take care of that for you and make that happen. And so we're excited about having them in on the program and being part of that. And also, we now have, if you would like to reach out to us today, I wish y'all would call. I'd love to talk to you. 865-577-4885, 865-577-4885. And then if you want to text us, you can text us on the Miracle Method message line. That's right. You didn't see that coming,
I
did you,
did not
man?
see that. Nope.
The Miracle Method message line, 865-255-3911. And so we're excited to announce that today. And so that's the new Miracle Method message line, and with Chris and Carrie, and just so excited about that. Stopped in, and car was pulling a little bit to the right. So yesterday, the day before yesterday, when I was out here at the station, had to come out to do some stuff, and so I whipped into Costa Oil right out there at 6537 Chapman Highway, and Jesse said, "Let me take a look at that." And so the way they put my hubcap rim on, it was kind of over, just barely made it hard to get to the valve stem on the tire. She said, "No problem, I got you." So she put in there about 4 or 5 pounds low in there in that tire and aired it right up, and it's not pulling anymore. But they got some great specials coming up for oil changes. That's who we're using. 10-minute oil change. Great folks over at Costa Oil, right here local. Family business, 6537 Chapman Highway. Go by and see them. Tell them we saw you.
Now, is it Costa or Costa?
Coast to coast. I don't know how you say it. Coast, I guess.
That's probably Costa.
No, I think it's Coast.
Well, I'm gonna stick with Costa.
I need to ask her that. She told me, but I keep forgetting. I'm a hillbilly.
Getting old.
Yeah, I am getting old.
Well,
That's the
yeah,
truth.
hillbilly too.
Yeah, and I am a hillbilly. So I'll butcher it. You know me. I'll butcher it. I'll butcher it in a heartbeat. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's
English language ain't nothing to you.
Ain't nothing to me. I just make up what it sounds like to me. Got my Mighty Gibbs Eagles hat on tonight, or today.
Yeah, we're
Gibbs,
gonna have to get rid of that.
well, Gibbs is 4-0, baby,
Well,
and rolling. Beat Seymour 58-27 last night.
we've been playing junior varsity teams though.
And who is your team?
I don't have one.
Oh, you just want to argue.
I'll say Central.
Yeah, Central got a good ball club.
I don't know.
We'll see.
I'll
Good.
keep up with it.
There's some good football. When I played football at Gibbs, and we didn't have all that stuff. I mean, we had our weight room would have 6 inches of water in it when it rained, and showers were plugged up. And the field, they'd scrape the rocks off, most of the big ones, and I mean that's what now all these kids, they play on AstroTurf, and thanks to Pilot, they've redone all of it, and I really appreciate that. Gibbs got a brand new stadium, and they got food trucks and vendors, and I mean,
Wow.
it's like a little college.
Going all out.
It is. It's like a little college, like when I went to play out at Maryville. Kids are getting a great experience, and I think that's wonderful. I really do. I think that's a wonderful thing that they got that going on. We got several things we're going to talk about today. Going to give you some tips and stuff. The most important thing that we do is we talk to you. Coming up in the next few weeks, let me get my schedule here. Of course, we did Weekend RV Center this past Saturday. Had a meeting on Friday, yesterday, with my buddy Lance from Busy Bee Plumbing, another one of our favorite plumbers. We got Sanders. Glad to have him and Busy Bee coming on with us. And what a great job Lance does out there. And he's going on vacation for a couple of weeks. And when he gets back, we will have him on the show October 5th from Busy Bee Plumbing. And he and I have done business together for years and years and years. And Lance he scuba dives, and he also races motorcycles. And he races those motorcycles where they lean down and their knees rubbing the.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess that's what it's called. I don't know. I'd have told. I said, "You're crazy." That's what I told him. I said, "Brother,
Yeah.
you're crazy." But he loves it, and that's what he does. So we had a great visit with them over at Baker Boys, and man, let me tell you something. And this
Wings.
oh yeah, and this is not on the menu, but Lance is he is now. So that's really going to confuse me because now I do have Lance.
Yeah.
I've got Vance and
And
Lance,
but
Lance
every
and
time
Vance.
you say his name, I want to look
I know that's going to throw Brian off. Brian won't know what to do.
at
He won't know what to do. He'll have Lance and Vance. He'll be right either way he goes. Brian says, Rickster, what is the best brand of motorhome I sold my company this week. Well, congratulations.
Wow, that's great, Brian.
Fantastic news. I
I
know
guess
that's
we're getting a
something.
new neighbor.
Yeah, he's wanting to come out here. Him and John, they want to get out here and do that. Um, I was talking, and that's interesting because I was talking to Lance yesterday, and he's traveling, and they bought a Forest River uh, toy hauler, and that's what they're traveling in. He and Carrie, and they go on this race circuit and do their thing, and so they're doing that. He and I had the long conversation, Brian, and uh, and it is if you can, and you're going to do some traveling and some serious traveling, man, that supersedes the deal. Now they're not cheap. You got to get deep in that billfold for that Super C. But it's not as big. I mean, it's like a Class A, but but you can find them out there. I mean, it's still, and there's several brands of those. And like I said, they're all owned by about 3 companies in the industry. Of course, when I learned, I didn't know this, but when we were out at Weekend RV Center, now they're carrying Rockwood, GeoPro, Mini Lights, Ultralight, Signature Ultralight, Chaparral by Coachman. Coachman's doing some good stuff, especially in Class A. Cherokee, Gray Wolf, Wolf Pup, Northern Spirit, and Bijou lightweights. So some new stuff out there that's out there in the game. And of course, when you go out there, you see Tyler and Charlene, Chastity and Josh, Kent, Jason, Mike, and X. But that's always a good choice when you're
Great
when
bunch
you're,
of people.
oh yeah, you got to come out and be with us for a while.
Yeah, for a little while.
They got a nice looking facility, don't they?
They do. Yeah,
It's
and the property's huge.
it's big. It's a big property. You don't realize how big it is till you get on it and then go back in the back where the used campers are and all the storage, and it's just a phenomenal deal. Talking to Top Septic yesterday, and they taught me something. I was talking to Heidi, and I didn't realize this when I was building houses. Um, Amy and I are looking for property, and we found a piece of property that we like, and so we're working on that. We'll see what God says about it, um, and we'll talk about that. But this property only purchased for a 1-bedroom bath. Well, I didn't realize this, but if it's 1 bedroom, you can have 1 bath, and they don't really care how many baths you have. It's just how many bedrooms you have. Because bedrooms, I mean, you can have if it perks for a 1 bedroom, you can have 2 bathrooms if you want it, but you can't have but 1 bedroom because that's how they determine how the number of people that's living in that house. Well, in our house, it's me and Amy and the dog and the cat. It's Chevy and Gypsy. So that's interesting. I didn't think about that. Brian says he's going to have Roof Max out next month to check his roof, and I talked to Roof Max this past week. They're going to come out and look at my nephew's roof here in a few days. They don't know it yet, but they are. They've called him, and he's getting ready to call him back. He had some other issues he had to deal with first, but so they're going to do that. So, and that's something that when Stephen comes on, Stephen Jackson with Yes Insurance, at the end of the month, the last day of this month, we're going to talk all about Medicare and your options, and we're going to talk about them flying drones over your house and getting house insurance and home insurance and all those kinds of things. He does it all. Property casualty, life, health. He does it all. And so we're going to get that's going to be a great show. And so you need to get those questions ready because you're going to have some expert advice. It's going to be free. And it'll be a great time for you to get an honest opinion. I've known this boy since he was little, and he was our son's best friend, and this great family do a great job, and so we're excited about that. So lots of things. Reaching out to Knox Trail Salvage. We're trying to work an old city kitchen. We're going to try to work us up a live remote in the next month or so out there and get that done. Of course, Cozy Mountain Cabins talked to Anita this past week, and what a great job they do up there. If you're looking for a cabin and want to go up into Pigeon Forge or Cosby or Newport or up in that end of the world, why, Cozy Mountain Cabins is the place to make that happen. So they do a phenomenal job. We're proud to be part of their team and proud for them to be part of our team. So we got all that going on. I was sick 2 weeks ago, and I didn't tell everybody what was going on, and I appreciate all the kind words and appreciate y'all letting me struggle through my voice. But this,
It was a struggle.
yeah, it was awful. I sounded like I was smoking 4 packs of cigarettes a day for the last 20 years.
Well, you're getting yours back, and I feel like I'm losing mine.
Oh, are you really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feels like it.
Well,
Sounds like it.
yesterday was the last day of my steroids, so I'll probably crash today.
Oh, wow.
They put me on a Z-Pack, but we went to the emergency room. Well, let's take that first time out. I think we ought to take
Yeah,
that first
let's do
time out. Let's knock that out, and I'll share a little bit with you about that, and appreciate all the kind words and all that kind of stuff. We come back, and then we'll jump into the conversation on some home improvement. It's Rick's House live Saturday morning. Praise 96.3. Hey, don't go nowhere. Call us 865-577-4885 or text us on the Miracle Method message line 865-255-3911. We'll be right back, y'all. What happens when you take 20 years of experience hanging metal on NASCARs and you put that into another business? The business I'm talking about, Miracle Method Resurfacing in Knoxville. My buddy Chris Stacy and his team are there for the detail, there for as good as a job can get. They understand working with tight tolerances and working with a finish that has to be almost perfect. If you're thinking about redoing your countertop, maybe you're thinking about redoing that avocado green bathtub, or maybe you're thinking about that epoxy floor for your hot rod in your garage. Ain't nowhere else. Miracle Method of Knoxville is the place that can help your dreams come true about that new tile surface or any other finish in your home. Call them today. 865-693-5522. 865-693-5522. Tell them Rick's House sent you.
Hey, y'all, being from the country, I've learned one thing for sure. The difference in experience can make the difference between a good job and bad. That's why we choose August Excavation for all your excavation needs. Whether it's pouring a footing, laying out a footing, pouring a concrete driveway, excavating a basement, or whatever your excavation needs may be. August Excavating. Call them today, 423-736-1402. 423-736-1402. Hey, y'all, this is Rick Allen. Let me tell you about one of my favorite companies, Top Septic. If you need a new drain field, or maybe you're having a problem with your existing drain field, or maybe the septic tank just needs to be pumped, they are the folks that can handle it for you. They know what they're doing. They're an American-owned company run by a veteran who wants to give you the type of service that you're expecting. Top Septic. Call them today, 865-599-1690. 865-599-1690.
Got a question? Rick's got the answers for all your home improvement questions. It's Rick's House. Home improvement advice done right.
Good Saturday morning to you. Welcome back to Rick's House. Thanks for joining us on the program. Good morning, Melissa White. Good to see you in there this morning. We need to get you on here to talk about the things that you do. I need to do that. We'll try to hook up this week and make that happen. Also, Ryan says, Rick, tell us how much weight you've lost. And well, folks, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, I have lost. I don't know. Let me go to the trusty calculator and see if I can figure it out. I've actually really, I was in a stall, and that's normal. for what you're doing when you have weight loss surgery. You will hit those plateaus, and I had gotten into a stall. So from my highest weight, which when I very first started, and this has been coming. Well, it's been a year and a half, maybe a year and 6 months now. Pre-surgery and then surgery. I'll be a year out of surgery on October the 19th. That's 1 year from that. I've lost 176 pounds. I've lost a whole person. And I feel so much better. Now I still have neuropathy and have those things that I'm having to deal with. Like I said, I was feeling kind of weird. And so I went to the doctor and I had some blood tests and they sent me to my cardiologist and they said, you know, if you'll get the blood tests back before we'll get them. So if you see anything weird in there, because they mark it high, low, normal, whatever.
You said it all looks weird to me.
Yeah, really. Call us. So I had a couple of tests that were really, really out of whack. I'm talking about really out of whack. And everybody says, "Well, I guess it's diabetes." I don't have diabetes. Never have. I have good genes, evidently, because even as large as I have been, I've just never had diabetes. I don't have high cholesterol. I don't have high triglycerides. I don't have any of that. What I do have is hypertension, and I also have a issue with my thyroid, and that's one of the things that caused me to gain a lot of weight was my thyroid, and so they said we called back that next morning, and the nurse, the attending physician that was on call said, "You need to take him to the ER now." So I went to the ER. I sat in the ER from 8 o'clock Tuesday morning until 2 a.m. Wednesday morning before I got a room in the ER, which they were testing me and doing blood tests and monitoring me and all that kind of stuff. Then I got a room the next day about 11, and then they tested me from head to foot. I had PET scans and CT scans and ultrasounds and EKGs. They did I didn't know they could do this. They did a chemical stress test because of my mobility issues. The treadmill's not the thing, so they actually put you in a PET scan machine, and they put this dye into you, and it chemically, it's the weirdest thing. I never had one before. Chemically, for about 6 minutes, you feel like you're running. You get hot, you start sweating, your heart increases. It's really, really crazy. And so at the long and the short of it, because of the fact that I'm losing weight the way I'm losing, and I don't eat much. I eat often, but I don't eat much at a time. One of the things they've recommended for me is a dietitian because you've got to get your vitamins in. My magnesium and my potassium were extremely low. And do you realize, and I didn't realize this, but if your magnesium and potassium get too low and you get dehydrated, you can die. It is so important, folks, yeah,
I did not know that.
I did not know that either, but they told me. I'm like, "Hey ho, hi, he ho."
How do you spell that?
Hey hi, he ho hi.
Okay. Good enough.
So, but anyway, they got me all back, up and running. Feel so much better. And thanks to the team over at UT
That's a great hospital.
great hospital. I mean, the nurses, the doctors over there are phenomenal. They're just slammed. I mean,
They really are.
they're slammed. You had an issue where you had, and I don't want to speak out of turn, but it had to be over there this past week.
Yeah.
And they're remodeling the emergency room. But the problem wasn't that. The problem was they didn't have any beds in the hospital because they're at 100% capacity.
Exactly.
Our city is growing so fast, and that's one of the things that we talk about. I mean, it's just growing so fast. It's just craziness. Weekend RV Center. Good morning, Rick, and good morning, everybody out there in Radio Land. We had an awesome event last week. We wanted to publicly thank Rick for all his help and at our special event in Weekend RV. Just thank you, guys. Thank you for having us.
Is that Xavier?
That's X, yeah.
He was a decent.
Yeah, he's
He's all right.
He went to PAL.
Oh,
know,
gosh.
you know, but, we did. We just had a good time, and the weather was perfect. Couldn't have been a better day for it. A little cloudy, it was cool. Man, just a great thing. They did a great job, um, advertising. We had a lot of people show up and got to visit with a lot of their customers and, did a lot of service stuff while they were there, and I learned a lot of stuff talking to the guys about things to look for and how to maintain it. Just a wonderful, wonderful time. So really enjoyed having them and, being out there. And thank you guys so much for having us and letting us be a part of that. So yeah, they got me all tuned up, and I'm back. I'm back in the game, so to speak. Now, I was thinking this past week as we began to think about, you know, moving and building a house and or whatever we end up doing, which is all up in the air, and we'll just have to see what the good Lord says about it and what we end up doing. But while I was doing that, I was looking around in the RV and in the travel trailer. We've been in it almost 3 years, almost 4 years.
Is that all?
And during that time, you develop. You adjust things. Brian says Vance is still my new best friend.
That's right. Don't you forget.
Lance.
Well, now he has somebody else he can call Lance.
Yeah, he'll have Lance and Vance.
Yeah.
Well, coming up very soon.
Let's not get them confused, Brian.
Excuse me. And so I was thinking, I was looking around, and Amy and I were talking about some of the things and maintenance wise that you just have to do. I mean, it's just, and we were thinking about, when we do finally get into a house, most likely we want to sell the travel trailer because it's big. It's just too big to drag around. Get us something smaller, preferably something we can drive. So when we go to see the kids in Florida, or we want to take a short trip or go to the lake or whatever, I don't want to be dragging that 40-foot trailer behind a truck being 65 feet long and like moving on.
No, thank you.
I do want one of them train horns on the truck. When I get a truck, I'm gonna get the train horn on it.
There you go.
But anyway, I was looking around about that, and I get a lot of stuff about RV remodeling. And when we were in California, mobile home remodeling is huge out there. They have whole vintage mobile home communities near the beach that are just, it reminds me of Rockford Files. I was watching Rockford Files last night, one of my favorite shows. We love the old TV. And the outside of that thing looks like a camper, and then, of course, you go inside, and it's all nice and everything. That's just, of course, it's a prop. But that being said, I was thinking about, people are doing things, they're tired of the wallpaper, and, when you think about it's in your RV or in your travel trailer, depending on what line it is. Now, as they step up, they get more and more expensive products, but ours is a good middle grade, good quality, not super fancy, but nice. And so it's got that wallpaper. Well, I've hung stuff, and I've made holes in it because I've moved stuff around. And I got hats hanging, and all my radio stuff is in there because I don't want to put it out in my building because it's expensive, and you don't want to get moisture to it. So I got stuff hanging there. It drives Amy crazy. And it kind of drives me crazy because it's all over the place. So I've been moving it around. I was looking at those holes. So I began to think about how do you deal with that? I know how to deal with that in a residential home. And so, it's one of those things where I ran across an article, and I just thought it was so interesting about how to properly refinish the inside of that RV or that travel trailer. One of the things we're going to do is the flooring that we have has over time has got over next to the slide. I got a battery that fell out. I didn't know it was under the slide, and it ripped a big hole in the linoleum. And it's good linoleum, but it's kind of it's kind of thin. We got that going on, and but anyway, so we've got that issue, and then the other issue that we have is that the holes that I have in the wall. Well, once you put a hole in that uh,
Yeah.
thin skinned wallpaper over the Luan board. I mean, it's there. I mean, there's no way to deal with it other than you can't find that wallpaper. So you can't patch it. I mean, it's
Soldering gun, heat it up,
so.
move it up.
So what you got to do is the most important thing is once you strip everything down and you get ready to paint, the most important thing is a good primer adhesive. So if you have holes in that wallpaper, Luan board, in the sides of your travel trailer, wood putty. Don't use that glazing. Don't use caulk. Don't use any of those kinds of things. You gotta patch it with wood putty. Of course, wood putty is soft and then it hardens and you can sand it. So the first thing you got to do is you got to wipe it down, get it clean, get your surface clean, get rid of any little things you got sticking up, any of that kind of stuff, and then you patch it with wood putty. You patch your holes with wood putty, let that dry, and then the next thing that you do is you typically use an orbital sander and a 220 grit sandpaper and go all over the walls, all over everything that's going to be painted and scuff it just a little. Now, once you do that, then and get everything ready, then you got to come back and wipe it down with some TSP. And TSP is trisodium phosphate. And that's a heavy duty cleaner that you use for painting. So you got to wipe everything down to get all that dust, everything off of it, because prep work is where it's at when we're talking about preparing to paint anything. Now, we're going to take the next time out. When we come back, we're going to talk about that's the walls. Now we're going to talk about cabinets and trim and what the difference is there. And I'm going to tell you why there's a difference and what you have to do. Brian says, we love watching General Hospital. My wife and I have been watching it for 29 years. I knew some football guys that in college that they never missed Young and Restless. Wasn't my deal. But anyway, hey, it's all good. My mama would say, now, hush now, honey. Now, go outside and play. Mama's going to watch her stories. You're listening to Rick's House live in the Praise 96.3 studios of your Praise FM 96.3. We'll talk to you in just a minute. Hang on, y'all.
Hey, y'all, Rick Allen, host of Rick's House Home Improvement Radio Show, right here at 96.3 FM, Praise FM. Let me tell you about my friends Tyler and Xavier and the team over at Weekend RV Center. Whether you're looking for sales, service, parts, or storage, they're the team that can make that happen for you. I trust them. They've been there.
Hey,
Road.
that feller with the beard at Weekend RV that sat in there with his parents. Yeah. What was his name? I was impressed with that guy.
With local folks who want to do a great job and take care of you. Weekend RV Center, 865-457-4424, 865-457-4424, or find them online at weekendrvcenter.com. Hey, Rick Allen. Rick's House Improvement Radio Show on the road. Let me tell you about my friends at Knoxville Salvage and Old City Kitchen. Joel Hopper and the team there have been friends of this program for a long time, and they want to be your friend. Friends, they have got the best cabinets, the best products. You say, Rick, is it seconds? No, everything's first quality. They do have some seconds if you want to get a deal, but not on kitchens and not everything they have in store. So trust me, they're part of our team. They want to be part of your team. And in this environment where building materials are going through the roof, they're going to have the best prices on the best products in Knoxville or anywhere in the surrounding area. Call them today. See them online. KnoxvilleSalvage.com, OldCityKitchens.com. A Rick's House favorite. Hey, y'all, this is Rick Allen. Let me tell you about one of my favorite companies, Top Septic. If you need a new drain field, or maybe you're having a problem with your existing drain field, or maybe the septic tank just needs to be pumped, they are the folks that can handle it for you. They know what they're doing. They're an American-owned company run by a veteran who wants to give you the type of service that you're expecting. Top Septic. Call them today, 865-599-1690. 865-599-1690.
Don't let do it yourself become do it to yourself. This is Rick's House, the home improvement show.
Good Saturday morning to you. Welcome back to Rick's House Live from Praise 96.3. Your Praise 96.3. And we're excited about being here. Listen, we want to tell you, if you'd like to call us this morning, love to hear from you. 865-577-4885. 865-577-4885. Remember that the only silly question is the one that you don't ask. Because I promise you, somebody else out there's got a home improvement project that's got a question. And if we don't know the answer, we will find the answer. Or we will put you in contact with one of our sponsors or somebody who will answer that question for you, or we'll do the research and help you with that. That's what we're here for. We want to do the hard work for you and want you to be able to get your questions answered and taken care of the way that they need to be. Now, the other thing I want to tell you about this morning is that if there's somebody out there that we don't know about, we've got a fantastic group of sponsors. I mean, we've just got folks that's been with me 20 years. We're so excited, whether it's Weekend RV Center, Sanders Plumbing, Top Septic Service, Knox Trail Salvage, Oak City Kitchens, August Excavation, Senor Taco, Cozy Mountain Cabins, Bacon Board Pizza, Busy Bee Plumbing coming up, and also Miracle Method of Knoxville Surface Refinishing. We're so excited about that. And if you just like to text us, I know you people like to text, especially you youngsters. If you want to text us, we'd love to hear from you on the Miracle Method message line, and that's 865-255-3911, 865-255-3911. The other thing that Miracle Method, and I know we're going to jump back on the remodeling thing of the travel trailer here in just a minute, but the other thing that Miracle Method does that I think is so interesting is when I was building houses, you have to, when you're framing, you have to go ahead and put your tubs and stuff like that in. We have a phone call. Okay. You have to go ahead and put your tubs and showers and stuff like that. And inevitably, an electrician, plumber, or sheetrock hanger, somebody would drop something in the tub and chip that tub. Miracle Method can fix that. You don't have to tear it out and put a new one in there. Chris, Stacy, and his team over there, and Miss Gary, I'm telling you, they can make a repair to that brand new. You won't even know it was there. So that's really, really handy. And maybe you got a great tub and you don't want to tear it out. You just want to change the color. Not a problem. Maybe you got that mud tile, that mud subway tile that's up and it's beautiful, but it's an ugly color and the grout's ugly. They can coat that. Maybe you like your countertops. They're in good shape, but you want to make them look like Corian or something else. They can do that too. So those are the things that they can do for you. So you can reach out to them at miraclemethod.com, or you can call them at 865-693-5522. 865-693-5522. That's how you get them. And like I said, we would love for you to hear. They would love to hear from you. Now, we've talked about prepping the walls and getting them ready. Primer is the key. And it's with any kind of painting, primer is the key, but especially with this kind of painting, primer is the key. And so you've got to use what's called a bonding primer, a high adhesion primer. And these primers are designed to bond to a wide range of difficult to adhere to surfaces. Now, I remember many years ago that Krylon came out with a paint that would actually bond to plastic. And when that happened, I was working with Krylon at that time through Rick's House, and they asked me to write an article about it because, if you have plastic shutters on your house, if those shutters come in a color that's pre-finished on them, they're not paintable. at that time. They were not paintable. If you wanted a paintable shutter, you had to order a paintable shutter because the paint wouldn't stick to it. Then Krylon came out with a plastic coating that would actually primer and paint that plastic. So, you got to have the right tool for the job. You've got to have the right product for the job. So when we talk about adhesion or a bonding, a high adhesion primer, that's what we're looking for. It's formulated for situations where a secure bond is critical, and the use of a traditional water oil-based primer might not be questionable and increases the possibility for paintable surfaces. It's just like painting. I learned the hard way about painting pressure-treated deck rails. You have to use a specific primer to paint pressure-treated deck rails because the primer sticks to the product. So the primer's job is to stick to the wood, the wallpaper, the Luan, whatever it is, plastic, whatever you're painting, and the paint sticks to the primer. So if the primer's no good, it doesn't matter what you put on it, it ain't gonna stick. So the primer is absolutely critical in this application. Vance, do we have a phone call?
We do. Brother Brian's on the
Brother
line.
Brian, let's go to Brother Brian. So you sold the company, my brother.
Yeah, after 42 years, I got to have the attorney look at a few things, but I need to sign on the bottom line, and I should be done with this before November.
I know that is a great blessing, and I'm so happy for you. We're tickled to death for you, and I know that will let you all get on new adventures and come toward Tennessee.
That's right.
Oh, heck yeah, and the question, my wife just sent me something about like an hour ago before she went to bed. She goes, could you ask Rick about grout? We have countertops that are marble countertops,
Mhm.
and she's using this thing. It looks like a pencil on the grout. And it's actually looking pretty good. And she said, "Well, could you ask your buddy Rick about what would you recommend on making that? I think you know what I'm talking about. More of a white color again before it gets dingy by the sink and stuff."
Yeah.
I like Mark.
How long has it been down?
It's not been down. We're just following what the nice people that installed this about 3 years ago.
Okay, so
And my wife was,
it's about 3 years old, in other words.
yeah,
Okay. Did they steal it?
yes, they sealed it. Did great. The famous thing when we had to come out and when it's under warranty, they said you don't have any olive oil anywhere close to those to that. I mean, like within about a mile.
Yeah, exactly. Um, and so you're happy with the color of the tile and all that.
Oh, definitely. My wife's just trying to keep up on the maintenance, and she got some sort of, it looks like a pin, and she's running it around the grout.
Yeah, is it
And
like a
I'm
pen with a
thinking,
sponge on the end of
exactly.
it?
And I thought maybe that's kind of not, that's hiding the problem, not resolving the problem.
Well, you gotta think of it like this. I mean, grout is, of course, mortar. I mean, that's basically what it is. It's a mixture of sand and adhesive, that is used, to put the tile down. Of course, there's different types of grout, different type of application, depending on how wide the grout joint is. I'm guessing that's an 1/8 inch grout joint. How big are the tiles?
It's actually a countertop.
Yeah.
All the way through.
Is it a
All the way
quarter
from
inch?
the,
Was it 12 by
Ye
12 tiles with a quarter inch grout joint?
yeah, it basically is smooth as silk.
Gotcha. So once they put that down and they seal it, really the option is to continue to seal it because if it stays sealed, then that grout is not going to it's not going to get it's going to stay the color that it is. That's the secret is a continual sealing of it. Now, in the event that it gets dingy, there's a couple things that can be done. The first thing that can be done is if they can come in there and remove that top layer of coating and regrout it, and then reseal it. I mean that's the worst case scenario if it gets to where you just can't stand it. But her continuing to seal that and let that dry is only it's just like a gym floor. You're just building up a coating, and that coating is going to protect it. As long as that porous grout has got a sealant on top of it, it's now it may have some natural fading due to light, UV rays, all those kinds of things that affect it. But other than that, keeping it sealed, and that's the only way I know to seal it. Other than having somebody like my buddy Chris at Miracle Method, which Miracle Method is a national company, 38 years old, that's all over the country. They can come in and permanently color that grout and seal it, and it'll never change again. It'll be that color forever. That's something that can be done. But the secret's sealing. It's just like when you get a solid surface countertop like quartz, or granite, or especially granite. They have to be sealed because if not, they can stain. So, it's a constant process of sealing because just like any other surface that gets a lot of activity, the sealant wears off. So I think she's doing what she should be doing, and if she can't get the result that then it's time to bring somebody in that does tile, or especially someone like Miracle Method who can come in and say, yeah, we can make that happen. We can seal that up and be done with it.
Well, I really appreciate your expert advice, and my actual question was for you this morning, and she said, "Hey, ask your buddy Rick about this issue here," and you answered it. So thank you so much.
No, you're welcome.
I guess what we're looking at, and we're finding, and I'm sure if you've noticed it also, I'm sure you have. We looked at brand new motorhomes, and they're outstandingly. I mean, it's just they have a lot of nice bells and whistles, but I mean, they're like the price for a home that we were going to buy,
Right.
25 years ago.
Yeah, if you go into a Super C, even in one that you're starting at 125 to get in that range for a new one and up. When you think about that, now that doesn't mean that you can't buy one for less than, but it's a chunk of change. Class A's and Class C's, you can drop down, and there's nothing wrong with Class A or Class C. I mean, I'd love to have a Super C, but I can't afford one. So when we sell our travel trailer, then we will most likely go into a Class C, like you talked about with a box truck van top front end, and then the box behind. The only issue that kept us from doing that prior to that was, and this is something that you don't have a problem with, and I don't have a problem with it now that I've lost weight. But if you're a large guy or a large person, the way a Super C is designed, not a Super C, but when a Class C is designed with a van type front end, what happens is the van is against the box, and you'll have a wall right behind, a partial wall right behind the driver's side and the passenger side of the chair. So it limits how far that seat will go back. So if you're a big boy, it can be uncomfortable, just like a van is that's got a wire gate behind it. And I know you've driven those. They're just like ambulance, same difference.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, Rick. I used to drive ambulances, and I'm used to having that back there.
Yeah, so same exact thing. You got the same thing in a Class C. You've got that right behind you, and if you're of the larger persuasion, there was a time where I wouldn't have been able to drive that because my belly would have been into the steering wheel, even if it tilts. And so that's the only difference. Other than that, good Class C is a good way to go, I think. And depending on what you're pulling behind you. or if you're going to pull anything. Are you going to pull a small car behind you? Are you? I mean, you know, all those things are considerations.
You know, Rick, and that it just seems to be that if you look at a brand new motorhome to purchase the price you're talking about, then you go 3 years back,
Hmm.
the amount has dropped astronomically. It's not an investment. So I'm thinking that I want to dial it back, but not too far. But I'm seeing the advertisements this and that for this much, and it's a good price. And like I was explaining to you, you start asking about gray water tanks
Yep.
and black water tanks. All of a sudden, you don't hear from them anymore.
Right. They don't know. So that
Yep.
tells you it's not been maintained properly. So either, you know, either you think that you go into it knowing you're going to have to spend that money to make that happen, which, I was talking when I was at the weekend RV center last week, and I was talking to the guys, and I said, how often when y'all get a unit in, I said, how often do you have to? And they said, every time we get a new unit, 9 out of 10 times we have to completely go in and refurbish the thing. It has to be done. Now, fortunately, they have chemicals, natural chemicals. Unique is a product. They have a deep cleaning black tank that I used this past month, and that stuff is phenomenal. And it will take hardened solids that are in the black tank and liquefy them. I could not believe that takes about a week to do it, but I just couldn't believe what a great job it done for us. So, and I'll be honest with you, Brian, when we get ready to make that next transition, into a house, and we think about, something we can drive to go see the grandkids and all that kind of stuff. I'll buy something used and I'll buy it from Weekend RV Center because I know they've been through it, you know, and it won't be a diesel because I can't afford to work on a diesel. I mean,
Right.
it's a shame.
Yeah, exactly. And what you're saying to me is, I'm thinking kind of the same thing. But you're looking at a used car to buy, so you're looking for the best deals. So you're looking at Facebook, you're looking at all these places. But to buy a used motorhome, it's better to go to a motorhome dealership and
Absolutely.
have and pay the extra bucks to say, hey, yeah, we went through the roof, we went through the pop out, we fixed this, we fixed that, and you're good to go, and we'll cover this under our generic warranty for this long. I guess that's the best way to go.
Well, in my opinion, it is, and here's what I'm going to say about that, and this is just part of the deal. If I go to Weekend RV Center, who I've known for years and years and years, I know that they're going to tell me exactly what I need to know. So there is no need to worry about anything because of the relationship that we have. They're not going to sell me something that they think is going to make it uh, outside of the warranty and then die. They're just not going to do it. They're going to wholesale it because they want to sell me one. They want to sell me my next one. They want to sell my kids one. They want to sell my neighbor one. You see what I'm saying? It's that philosophy. When you get into these larger and every part of this business, and I'm not harping on the larger companies that sell, but I I, I I'm not buying. I'm finding me a good mom and pop relationship, know what they're doing, been around a long time, got good reviews. I'm looking at the reviews. And my wife taught me this. I want to hear what mama's saying about it because if mama's happy, everybody's happy. And she's going to tell the truth. She's going to get on her review, say the review, and say, "Now this is what happened, and this was what it was." Same when we bought a washer and dryer to put in our travel trailer. So the reviews are important, especially what the ladies say because they've had it like this. Um, and so that's the way that I'm going to go about it. That's the way I would recommend going about it. Your mom just need to fly down here, or you need to get a hold of X and tell him what you're looking for, and he'll find you one, and then come down here and get one that you can drive back.
Well, I appreciate. I just was astonished on how much a brand new one costs, and then
Versus
you
a
back
few
it
years
up.
old. Mhm.
Yeah, and you back it up 3 or 4 years, and the vehicle's got 8,000 miles on it. We only took it around this and that, and we parked it the rest of the time. And they paid X amount of dollars, and now they want, you know, $22,000 for something that they paid 170 or $140,000 for.
Exactly. And if I was going to look, I tell you another brand, and I don't know if I told you this before, but if I was going to look at Class C's, Jayco, Jayco, that's a good company. And X can tell you all about that. And man, if you pick up the phone and call him, he will tell you what to look for because he knows it's all he's ever done since high school. And he worked for the Jayco dealer here in town for years and years and years. So, that he knows, and it's like we talked about, and I had a great conversation with a listener this past week who called me and sent me a message and said, "Hey, is it possible for us to talk?" And I'm like, "Sure." And so he called me, and their church is adding on, and we really appreciated him listening. And come to find out, he was married to somebody I went to high school with. It just worked out great, and folks that I knew growing up. But when I was recommending the builder to him to add a new add on to their church, and we were talking back and forth. But the thing about the point of that is that these folks, they want to see you, even if they don't sell it to you. He wants to see you get something good because when you do get something good, even if you don't buy it from him and you need service done or you need something done, you're going to call him if you're in the area. And that's just the way that's just the way it goes. Plus, they can tell you those things to look for. Maintaining the roof, making sure it's sealed properly, looking for the wet spots, checking those slides and seeing what you're going to have to do there. I've got 3 slides in mine. I'm going to have to probably spend, and I'll do it with a helper. Uh, uh, I'm gonna have to spend probably $500-600 to replace part of the wood on my slides. But that's just part of it. I mean, we've lived it. So, I mean, it's knowing what to look for. That's the key. The other thing about a Class C is a lot of regular mechanics, because a Class C has that front nose and it's hard to work on and it's difficult to get into it. And I mean, it doesn't have a nose; it's flat. Whereas Class A, they just working on a box truck to them. You know what I'm saying? They're popping the hood up. It's a Ford F-450, and it's got a V10 in it. They know how to work on that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and what's outstanding is what you're talking about is reaching out to somebody that knows about motorhomes and it's a business. And even though I'm over here in Washington State and I contact who you're talking about, I can leave a Google 5-star review for outstanding and a Yelp one, and that can
Absolutely.
go and go and you've done that for me. And going forward, that helps out that business move up a little bit farther on the search chain.
Right.
And so I've got no problem at all, reaching out to them. And you never know. He says, "Hey, I've got this for you, this for you, and this for you. If you want to come down and pick it up, it's a great price."
Right,
You never know.
exactly. And that's the other thing too, when I'm looking at reviews and, I was always thinking when I was on the road and the few times that I was very fortunate. The few times that I got caught and had to have service, I was able to get on and find somebody who done a good job. And sometimes I was able to network with Xavier and him put me on somebody, but I got very fortunate. But when I'm looking at reviews, and I'm a full-time traveling RV person, and I'm looking on there, and somebody's going, "Well, we broke down in Phoenix, Arizona, and we were lucky enough to find, ABC RV, and Don and his wife Kim just took care of us and didn't take advantage of us and got us back on the road." And I want to give a shout out to anybody that's coming through there. Hey, if you have a problem, stop and see, ABC RV. You know what I mean? That says a
Oh yeah.
lot because when you're trapped and the brakes are out on the trailer and you just come down a 10,000-foot mountain and you're so nervous you can't even sit straight, and then somebody you pay whatever you had to pay to get fixed. And when somebody sees that and doesn't take advantage of you, then that says a whole lot about that business, and that review goes a long way.
And that is very true, sir.
Yep. So it's all good. So good. Well, I'm tickled to death. And so I guess you and Mom are going to get you an RV and a place in Mexico and a house on the Riviera, and and retire wealthy and do all those kinds of cool things.
Well, I'm just blessed that I'm able to turn around and say after 42 years, I'm done, instead of saying, well, I had to file bankruptcy. You know what I mean?
I think it's a testament to the job you've done, and I think it's a wonderful thing. And Vance and I and all the Rick's House families is tickled to death for you and Mama.
Well, thanks a lot, and I really appreciate your advice, Rick, and I'll be picking your ear next week about this time, about a few other things, and I'll
Good.
let you know if we end up purchasing a motorhome or what we're doing. And tell Vance to keep up the good work. We're proud of him. Okay.
I
Thank you,
sure
Brian.
will.
Thank you.
Sure will, brother. All right. Have a great day, my friend.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Take care. All right. I think we probably missed a timeout in there somewhere. We can take care of the top of the hour, didn't we? We did. So we'll make that happen. And one of the things I was going to say, Vance, and that's why Brian's still listening before we take that time out. Unfortunately, we live in a day and a time now where used to, boy, this is going to sound terrible. I'm gonna get emails on this. But just because that name is on there doesn't mean they're still doing what they used to do.
That's right. Exactly.
And I hate to say that, but that's truth. Now they may still be doing exactly what they used to do, but there are some companies out there that, as with the way things are done in business now, that are running off of that name and not necessarily producing what they used to produce. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I hate to say it like that, and I'm not going to mention names because I'm not the guru of that. I just know that that's a good starting place, but you got to do your research.
Well, buy business, keep the name, and just totally go off.
Yeah.
Bounce off the walls with it.
Yeah, exactly.
And happens in all businesses.
Yes, it does. And especially now, business is done completely different than it used to be. I'm old school. Vance is old school. You're listening to Rick's House. We're live at 96.3 Praise FM 96.3. Listen, the call-in lines are open. 865-577-4885. 865-577-4885. The Miracle Method message line. You can text us 865-255-3911. Hang on, young'uns. We're just getting started. We'll be right back. Now listen, if you've not been to Baker Boys, y'all tried Baker Boys pizza yet? Oh my!
Question: how do you? Never mind.
Baker Boys down there on the right. He's got a 30-inch pie. I've not even got in my van and got the door closed. That's what I'm talking about. And I'm telling you, a slice of pizza feed 10 kids. Baker Boys Pizza is the place. I'm telling y'all, go by and see them and tell them that we sent you. And they're going to take care of you. They're going to be proud to see you, and they're going to be glad to feed you and your family. Great place for after church on Sundays. Go by and see the team at Baker Boys Pizza and tell them that Rick South sent you.
I haven't been to Baker Boy in a while. I want to get over there.
Hey, y'all, this is Rick Allen, host of Rick's House Home Improvement Radio Show, right here on 96.3 FM, Praise FM. Let me tell you about my friends Tyler and Xavier and the team over at PKN RV Center. Whether you're looking for sales, service, parts, storage, they're the team that can make that happen for you. I trust them. They've been there with me when we were on the road all over the United States, and they'll be there for you. They can work on your RV. They can take your RV in on a trade. They can sell you a new RV, but most of all, they're going to treat you like, man, you're not dealing with some big corporation. You're dealing with local folks who want to do a great job and take care of you. Weekend RV Center, 865-457-4424, 865-457-4424, or find them online at weekendrvcenter.com.
Hey, y'all, it's Rick Allen. Let me tell you about one of my favorite companies, Top Septic. If you need a new drain field, or maybe you're having a problem with your existing drain field, or maybe the septic tank just needs to be pumped, they are the folks that can handle it for you. They know what they're doing. They're an American-owned company run by a veteran who wants to give you the type of service that you're expecting. Top Septic. Call them today, 865-599-1690. 865-599-1690.
Want the good, the bad, and the ugly of home improvement? You found it. This is Rick's House.
Good Saturday morning to you. Welcome to Rick's House Live in Praise 96.3 Praise FM, your Praise FM studio. And I appreciate everybody joining us on Facebook this morning. Miss Gina, good to see you out this morning. Chris, Aaron Yarnell, brother, good to see you out there. Great. Thank you, my friend. Tim Mix, my brother out in Oregon. Tim's awesome. Tim and Carrie, appreciate you guys this morning. Good to see you. And yes, you are way up too early, my buddy. Uncle Butch, good to see you this morning, sir. And of course, Melissa White, several others listening to us on the Facebook page this morning. Thank you so much. If you'd like to call us, we'd love to hear from you. 865-577-4885. 865-577-4885. The Miracle Method message line, 865-255-3911. 865-255-3911. You can reach us there with a text message. We'd love to hear from you. I also want to tell you about Cozy Mountain Cabins this morning. If you're looking for a place to stay in Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, Cosby, Newport, anywhere around there, my buddy Anita Cozy Mountain Cabins has got it going on. And whether it's a little tiny house for two, or you've got a party of 25 for an event they want to stay up, probably not. Man, I'm just telling you, she's got it and got it under control. And your experience will be like none other. I mean, she is attentive. House is going to be absolutely fantastic. Josh, good to see you this morning. Calling in, that's who we were talking about, Vance. Josh with Weekend RV Center, and learned so much listening to Josh the other day at the live show, and it was just amazing. He's got so much knowledge, and them boys know what they're doing. You know, they absolutely positively know what they're doing. It's just like our friends at Top Septic and you know, Heidi and Josh there, and of course August Excavating. When I watch Josh run that equipment, he's a veteran. You know, served his country, retired, does business the way it's supposed to be done, and just the skill is just unbelievable. I mean, it just, you know, our sponsors, we just got the best sponsors in the whole world. I'm so tickled to have them, whether it's Weekend RV Center, or Top Septic, or Knoxville Salvage, or Old City Kitchens, August Excavation, Cozy Mountain Cabins. Now, Baker Boy Pizza fans, you need to go over and get you some
they're
wings.
okay.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. You need to go over and get you some pizza before we jump back in and talk more about, you know, painting that RV cabinets and all that kind of stuff. But we went over there yesterday, and my buddy Lance and his wife, Deanna.
The other one.
The other Lance. Went and had lunch meeting over there and just got to catch up. Busy Bee Plumbing's worked with us a long time. And people say, well, Rick, what about Sanders? Sanders Plumbing's awesome. Rick, why do you have more than one plumbing company? So you have a choice. You know, that's why. You know, there are more than one company that does a great job out there, and if they're a good company, we want you to be able to have choices. Some companies do some things. Some companies don't do that thing. Some companies do other things. You know, so we want to, if there's somebody good, and we've known Busy Bee forever and a day. Sanders Plumbing, we've known forever and a day. We love them. They do a great job for us. Busy Bee been one of our sponsors for years, and now we've reconnected and does a phenomenal job. So, as we continue to grow this, and also if there is a company out there that I need to know about, send me an email. Now you can go to Rick's House Radio at gmail.com. Send me an email, rickshouseradio@gmail.com. You can go to rickshouseradio.com and you can send me an email there at our website. You also hit me up on Facebook at Rick's House Radio Show on the Road. That's RHRS on the Road. Or if you just type in Rick's House Radio and bring the Rick's House page up, and we're available to you to answer during the week, whatever we can do. Talk to Stan from Seed. We had the guys on from Seed and a few weeks ago. We're going to be talking to them coming up again about some new projects they got going on.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they do a phenomenal job.
Yeah,
They're just fantastic, and so we're so excited to have that bunch with us. So, we've got a good group of folks, y'all, that we're putting together so that we want to take the hard. We don't want to do it yourself to become do it to yourself at Rick's House. We want to help you by giving you some good ideas, and then we want you to make the decision. We're not going to make the decision for you.
No.
We're going to let you make the decision, but we're going to try to give you our years of experience in how to do that, being in this business for a long, long time, and making sure that we're doing that and helping you any way that we can help you. That's our goal, as always, is to do that. Now, coming up in the near future, I'm working on some of my window companies. Windows are a thing that I've always done, and windows fascinate me because I think. Good morning, Josh. It's on Facebook Live. It's something that is a passion of mine. I started with it when I was 16 years old, servicing windows for my father-in-law's lumber yard through GAPCO, Gallatin Aluminum Products Company. I have sold most windows, serviced most windows, been through many, many training classes from Anderson, GAPCO, ESP, Betterbilt, MI, Marvin, Pella, Norco. There's so many I can't even remember. Allside, I can't even remember how many things I've been to, and learned something from every one of them. And so, if you're thinking about windows, that's something we can really help you with in looking at the different options, whether it's wood clad, fiberglass, vinyl. What Simcoe Simonton? Thank you, Joe. As my cousin Joe just sent me a message. He and I've worked together. He's been my boss. I've been his boss, and he's got it going on. Simcoe Simonton windows, unbelievable. Ellison windows. It just goes on and on and on. And so we've done that. You can go to the website, Vance.
Okay, thank you.
To answer that question. So, that's something we're passionate about. We're going to get some of the guys in here coming up. That's something else we want to talk about. We're also working on a live remote for our friends at Knoxville Salvage and Old City Kitchens. And so that leads us back into the conversation about dealing with cabinets in your travel trailer and your RV. Now, what you got to understand is you're dealing with MDF, medium density fiberboard. MDF is a material that came out several years ago. It's a great material. If you get it wet, that's an issue, but it shouldn't be anywhere where it's wet. So, but medium density fiberboard is something that you've got. You also, unfortunately, you still have, you have medium density fiberboard, but in travel trailers, you still have particle board. Particle board's about like wet toilet paper or cold coffee. When
Cold coffee. That's what I'm dealing with in here.
Me too. When you're dealing with that, it water's not your friend. When you have that, and so what they do is they take that product and they put a vinyl cover, a vinyl over top of it that makes it look like wood, and so therefore we're back to hence sanding, filling, cleaning, wiping down, and then that adhesion primer. You have got to use that adhesion primer. And then we've got to think about taping it off, masking everything off, getting everything out of the way. Now, if you're not good at taping off or trimming stuff, then the thing to do there is whether you're using a green frog tape or a blue painter's tape. And the reason that you use those kinds of tapes, and listen, painting it and wallpaper are my nemesis. I hate wallpaper. I like the way it looks. My wife is excellent at wallpaper. I can't do it to save my life. It makes me say, just I quit because I can't I don't have the patience for it. Now painting, I hate it, but I'm good at it. Sheetrock finishing, I kind of like that, but I'm good at that. Hanging it, I ain't no good at hanging. It's just not my forte. But that being said, plus now I'd have to prop up on my cane.
So that's why they're subcontractors.
Absolutely. The average age of the subcontractor is 55 plus. Youngins, if your college is not your thing, go to a good vocational school. You can make 150,000. You can make six figures a year. Ain't no problem. I guarantee you that if you get into trade and become a journeyman, male or female, you have a job for life. You
You'll be
can
able to
make
work anywhere you go.
any state you go, and you make six figures all day long, and not kill yourself. So that's out there. But saying all that to say this, part of the frustration with taping off to get ready to paint is trying to get that exactly right. The trim, the edge of the trim covered, but covered enough that it's not covered over on the wall. Listen, take that green painter's that frog tape or take that blue painter's tape. And the reason it's called painter's tape is because it's designed with a low adhesion. It's good enough to stick, but it's not going to stick so hard that it's going to leave a residue on the product that you're working with. So,
Yeah, duct tape, bad idea.
it is a bad idea. So, don't let it stress you. When you're getting ready to tape off that piece of trim or that cabinet door or whatever you're taping up, and first of all, take all your knobs off, take all that off. Just take it off. Now, know where it goes back. Don't take it off and just throw it down.
Put it all in a bag and
Right. And
make sure.
I'll tell you what I do when I like let's say I was going to paint the cabinets in our travel trailer. And let's say I'm going to take it off. All right, I'm going to take the hinge. I'm going to take the hinges off. I'm going to put all those in the bag. I'm going to take those hinge screws and I'm going to put those in the Ziploc and I'm going to mark it hinge screws. Now, if there's not a bunch of them, I'm going to take me a piece of cardboard and I'm going to stick them in that cardboard so I've got them there. When I put a storm door on, or if I'm going to touch it up, or if I've got a painted screw, you can take that screw and run it in a piece of cardboard and take spray paint, paint it back, let it dry, and then put it back in. I mean, there's all kinds of little trips. You can dip it. You can spray the end of a Q-tip and put it on there. There's all kinds of ways to touch those things back up so that, all the little tricks of the trade. But be sure and do that because if you don't, you will be in a mess. And so that's the easiest way to do it. And so those things are important. When you go to doing those projects. Now, same holds true when we're going to paint these cabinets. Most of the time, you'll have a wood frame door, and then you'll have a piece of medium density fiberboard or a piece of Luan covered, vinyl covered Luan for the panel, and all those kinds of things. I've got a cabinet door on the bottom of our sink on the right hand side that for some reason is pulling apart in the mortise. So, and Amy pointed it out, and I knew it was there. She pointed it out to me yesterday. So my next project is I'm going to pull that off, and I'm going to take a furniture clamp, which I have some of, and I'm going to clean it, and I'm going to wood glue it, and I'm going to clamp it back, and then I'm going to wipe the wood glue off and everything off, and I'm going to let it dry and make sure it's nice and clean and it's not sticking out there, and then put it back on before the thing falls apart. Why is it doing that? Because it's been open 10,492,736,44210 times, if that's even a number. And so that's what we have to do with the secret to any project and we say this all the time, is a good number 2 pencil and a notebook, because I promise you, if uh, you're crazy, Joe. I had my cousin send me stuff, remind me about the time I shot myself with a nail gun in my finger in Florida, and had to go. The home improvement guy that was on the radio had to go to the emergency room, and the girl said, "Is that one of those trick things?" Because it was almost Halloween, like it was sticking out through my middle finger halfway on either side, kind of like Steve Martin when he puts that arrow on his head, looked like that. She said, is that one of those trick things? I said, "No, it ain't no trick thing. I shot a 16-penny nail through and it's stuck in the bone in my middle finger." She said, "Can I take a picture of that? My husband's a framer and he'll want to see that." "Well, yeah, go ahead." But anyway, so we've got that going on. But doing the project on paper, writing it down on paper, go before you go to the big box store, write it down on paper. Make sure you're getting it in the order you need. All those things are things that help you not let do it yourself become do it to yourself. That's an important part of what we do. Now we're going to have to take that next time out to hear from some of the sponsors that bring you the program. Plenty of time for you to call in this morning. Love to hear from you. 865-577 4885, 865 577 4885. The Miracle Method message line, if you want to text, 865 255 3911, 865 255 3911. And we come back, we're going to tell you about Baker Boys' special pizza they made for us yesterday. Oh, my. Hang on, y'all. It's Rick's House. We're live. We'll be with you in a minute.
What happens when you take 20 years of experience hanging metal on NASCARs and you put that into another business? The business I'm talking about, Miracle Method Resurfacing in Knoxville. My buddy Chris Stacy and his team are there for the detail, there for as good as a job can get. They understand working with tight tolerances and working with a finish that has to be almost perfect. If you're thinking about redoing your countertop, maybe you're thinking about redoing that avocado green bathtub, or maybe you're thinking about that epoxy floor for your hot rod in your garage. Ain't nowhere else. Miracle Method of Knoxville is the place that can help your dream come true about that new tile surface or any other finish in your home. Call them today. 865-693-5522. 865-693-5522. Tell them Rick's House sent you.
Hey, y'all, this is Rick Allen. This is Rick's House on your radio show on the road. Let me tell you about my friends at Knox Trail Salvage and Old City Kitchen. Joel Hocker and the team there have been friends of this program for a long time, and they want to be your friend. Friends, they have got the best cabinets, the best products. You say, "Rick, is it second?" No, everything's first quality. They do have some seconds if you want to get a deal, and not on kitchens, and not on about everything they have in the store. So trust me, they're part of our team. They will be part of your team. And in this environment where building materials are going through the roof, they're going to have the best prices on the best products in Knoxville or anywhere in the surrounding area. Call them today. See them online. TrailSalvage.com, CityKitchens.com. Rick's House Favorites. Hey, y'all, this is Rick Allen, host of Rick's House Home Improvement Radio Show, right here on 96.3 FM. Praise FM. Let me tell you about my friends Tyler and Xavier and the team over at Weekend RV Center. Whether you're looking for sales or service, or parts or storage, they're the team that can make that happen for you. I trust them. They've been there with me when we were on the road all over the United States. And they'll be there for you. They can work on your RV. They can take your RV into the grade. They can sell you a new RV. But most of all, they're going to treat you like family. You're not dealing with some big corporation. You're dealing with local folk who want to do a great job and take care of you. Weekend RV Center, 865-457-4424, 865-457-4424, or find them online at weekendrvcenter.com. Hey, y'all, from the country, I've learned one thing for sure. The difference in experience can make the difference between a good job and a bad
That's why we choose August Excavation for all your excavation needs, whether it's pouring a footing, laying out a footing, pouring a concrete driveway, excavating a basement, or whatever your excavation needs may be. August Excavating. Call them today, 423-736-1402. 423-736-1402.
Hey, y'all, Rick Allen. Let me tell you about one of my favorite companies, Top Septic. If you need a new drain field, or you're having a problem with your existing drain field, or maybe the septic tank just needs to be pumped, they are the folks that can handle it for you. They know what they're doing. They're an American-owned company run by a veteran who wants to give you the type of service that you're expecting. Top Septic. Call them today, 865-599-1690. 865-599-1690.
Got a question? Rick's got the answers for all your home improvement questions. It's Rick's House. Home improvement advice done right.
Good Saturday morning to you. Welcome back to Rick's House live on Praise 96.3, your Praise FM. If you'd like to chat with us this morning, we got time, y'all. I'd love to hear from you. 865-577-4885, 865-577-4885. You can reach us on the Miracle Method message line. That's our text line, 865-255-3911, 865-255-3911 to reach us on the Miracle Method text line. And I wanted to tell Vance about this, and y'all watching, we're gonna lose. We're gonna lose.
Oh,
him
you're
right
going
here.
to lose me quick. Yeah,
We're gonna lose him quick right
I
here.
think so.
I had to come over to the station this week and do some stuff and turn some stuff in, and just normal business stuff. And so I was coming back, and right there next to where the Kearns food place is on the right is my buddy Andre's got the Baker Boys. Excuse me, Burger Boys, not Baker Boys. I got too many B's. Burger Boys. And man, home with free fries. He's got one of the best cheeseburgers you ever ate in your life. He's got all kinds of them. I mean, he's got it's ridiculousness. Is that a word? Ridiculousness?
It is today.
It is today. Let's go to the menu here, I'm just gonna go tell you, the menu is outstanding. It's it's just outstanding. So let me just tell you a few things on here. He's got the Kobe burger, the Little Dre burger, the Dante burger. These are all his boys. The Big Dom burger, pepper jack, habanero, pepper jack cheese, jalapeno peppers. Got the Ball burger, and the Sasha burger. I mean, okay, sides, mac and cheese, collard greens, potato salad, yams, French fries, cheesecake, sweet potato pie, livers, gizzards, and a catfish sandwich, chicken wings,
Well, okay.
deep fried chicken wings,
Mm.
5 whole wings, 10 whole wings, or a 5-piece meal. 10 whole wings, $13. 5 whole wings,
Wow.
$7.
But
He had the best livers in town.
he can keep them.
They're lightly breaded.
I got one. I don't need none.
Chicken livers are my thing. I dig them.
My father loved those things. Ugh.
I pulled up, and I hadn't been there in a little while, and I pulled up. He said, "My radio brother, let me guess, livers and hot sauce." I said, "You know it." And so, but he's open, like just before lunch to about 4 every day. And if you, all jokes aside, if you like livers and gizzards, or if you like a good cheeseburger, go by and see him. Tell him Rick's House sent you. Great folks, do a great job. Fresh, he hand patties them out. Fresh ground beef, hand patties them out.
They are good burgers.
Oh my good gracious! It is something. So tell him we sent you, and it just does a phenomenal job. He's happy to see you, and service is quick, cooked perfectly. I mean, it's just it's good for you. It makes me happy. And morning, John. Good to see you in here this morning. Thank you, brother. I am feeling much better. I was reading yesterday, and this is something that's a little bit different. And you know, I used to do a series, and I've done this over the years about where to hide an outside key. Now you think about that, you know,
Outside.
outside, right? I've got to that stage in life where I might forget a key every once in a while. I know you're shocked, but I've reached my mid 50s, headed toward my latter 50s, and you know, believe it or not, I'll do that sometimes. So I've got keys hid all over the place. Well, you think about, you know, if you're going to hide a key, I'm always worried about that because we hide them under a rock, you know, you know,
Doormat.
doormat, you know, under a flower pot,
Fake rock.
you know, on top of the door frame. I mean, you know, I mean, everybody knows where to look for a key. So I got to thinking about, and I started researching and doing a series. And I was looking at this last night, and this is a fantastic key hack. And I wanted to share it because this one's new to me, and I've never heard of anybody doing this, and I've never done it. And I thought that is a great idea. Now, one of the ideas was, you know, the metal key box like you put under the fender of your car. Everybody's going to look for that.
Yeah.
But if you've got an outside grill,
True.
flip that outside grill doors open on the bottom, up on the bottom of it, hang it. Nobody even knows it's there. That's a pretty good one. But here's the best one. You take fishing line. Okay. You take fishing line, tie it around your key, put your good fishing knot on there, tie it around your key, and then you go off into the backyard and you find your hammock, something that has, or your child swing set, something that has a cap on it, or your deck post cover that has a cap on the top of it.
Yes.
And you know, you can pull that cap off and put a key in up in the back side of the cap and tape it, or you can take that fishing line and tie it around the screw on a hammock or a yard swing, drop it down in the pipe, and then put the plastic cap back on it.
Yeah.
Now that's a good place to hide a key.
Yeah, it is.
And I thought that was a great idea. Got that from Family Handyman. You know, I'm always watching that. First, tie the piece of fishing line to one end of your spare key. The thin line makes it almost invisible to the naked eye. Next, head to your backyard. Locate a nearby hammock or another object with a hollow pipe and a cap. Remove one of the caps from the end of the hammock pole. Place the key inside the pipe. Put the cap back on. Bam! There you go. And then the fence, and like I said, the fence post. I mean, I thought those were two really good ideas.
Those are good ideas.
You know, for having that outside key when you forget it or somebody needs to, if you got an emergency, somebody needs to get in the house. Now, here's something that I had no idea about. Now, my wife can grow anything. I'm not so good. And I think it's because having to work in the garden as a kid, I hated it. I enjoy it now. As long as it's a raised bed where I don't have to bend over and squat and do all those things I can't do
Down on your
anymore.
hands and knees.
Yeah, no, that's a
No.
negative Ghost Rider. That ain't
Yep.
gonna happen.
Nope.
If I can't sit on something that rolls and get to it or move my chair, it ain't gonna happen because I just can't do that kind of stuff anymore. However, do you know what the difference between potting mix and potting soil is?
No.
I didn't either.
You didn't?
No,
Well,
I don't know about
I'm having a
garden.
hard time to believe
I
that.
don't know about garden stuff for that. I get Neil Denton on. I'm gonna get Neil Denton on top of
There
that.
you go.
I like Brother Neil. He's good folks. We've done a lot of radio together over the years, and he's a nice fellow, a genuine nice fellow, the most knowledgeable guy. Two of the most knowledgeable guys in that field three of the most knowledgeable guys in that field that I've done radio with over the years. Neil Denton, ag agent, ag extension agent, is absolutely the most knowledgeable guy about any kind of plant, trees, and it don't matter what
Well,
it
it
is.
doesn't matter what it is. No, he,
He'll know.
Yeah.
And he'll tell you plain. Second of all, Andrew Pulte from the University of Tennessee. Andrew does a phenomenal job, knows all about it, does a great job. He's another one that does that. And the third guy, I'll think of it in a second because my brain just had the COVID brain. Oh, and by the way, y'all, when Amy and I went over and had to be at the hospital for 4 days, and while we were in there waiting, guess what we caught? COVID.
Yeah.
So I had to quarantine for that, and so I've still got a little COVID brain going on, but I'm not contagious.
I've got to admit, I'm a little skeptic about that COVID thing.
Have you ever had it?
Yeah, I've had it, and
This last time wasn't real bad. The
don't
fir-
even think worse than a flu.
yeah, the first time I got it, it was horrible.
Huh.
Me and Amy were on the road, and we were in Foley, Alabama, and we got it up for Christmas. We had it the whole month of December, and had to literally call Walmart and have our groceries delivered and it was everything I could do to get up out of my chair and go get them off the front steps and put them up. I mean, I've never been so sick in my life. And Amy has a compromised immune system because for celiac disease, and I mean, it was terrible. This last strain's is not as bad. It doesn't seem to be. So let's talk about what is potting mix and what is potting soil for those of you folks that like to garden
Yeah,
or do flowers and all that kind of stuff.
got my interest up.
Mine too, because I didn't know. Now, when we do build a house, one of the things that I'm going to do in my garage is we're going to do aquaponics. You know what aquaponics is?
No.
Aquaponics is where you have a tank, and over in South Knoxville, my buddy over there, I'm gonna get him back on the program, has a whole setup where he's completely off the grid. He's totally solar, has chickens, collects his own rainwater, and he has swimming pools set up inside his warehouse. And he has tilapia fish in the swimming pool. And then he plants plants in floating cups or pots that have a medium in it. It has to have different types of medium. That's what you plant it in. And so the roots come through that medium and that holds it and they grow down into the water. Well, the fish, when they do what fish do, and all animals do, or mammals or fish or whatever you want to call them, I don't know what they are. I just call them fish.
Fish. Yeah.
Well, ammonia from the waste that they excrete is the same. That's the fertilizer.
Huh.
And then it recycles that, and the plants pull that out of the water, and then you feed the fish, and so you got your fish, you got your it's a continuous flow of things, and that's kind of a simple version of it. There's a whole lot more people who are going to do that, but also, knowing how to plant things. Now, let's talk about potting mix, and I'm going to read this and this is from Eldred Steinkopf, is the expert that wrote this article for Family Handyman. He's called the Houseplant Guru. And Tony Proven, PhD, is professor extension agent at Texas A&M University. So that's where this comes from. I did not do this. I took it from them, so we want to give credit for it. And also, by the way, any of the music that you hear on the bumper music for Rick's House was either created by us and we own it, or we pay Epidemic Sound a membership fee to use the music that they provide for us for our bumpers and our commercials and all that kind of stuff. So it is not copyrighted, and those that are, we have the right to use them. So just so you know, because I got a notice on that.
Little
That's
disclaimer.
a disclaimer though. So potting mix is a soil-like planting medium that doesn't actually contain any soil.
Okay.
Let me read that again. Potting mix is a soil-like planting medium that doesn't actually contain any soil. Eldred Steinkopf says it anchors the plant and provides water and nutrients to the plant through its root system. Now, this is what you would use a medium of this type in aquaponics. Potting mixes can be tailored to different plants, such as African violets or succulents, and they may contain peat moss, coir, vermiculite. You know what vermiculite is?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
vermiculite is what they use in gas fireplaces to make it look like embers.
Yeah. Right.
Perlite, bark ash, sand, and bark. Potting mixes are typically sterile, which makes them excellent for seed starting and indoor gardening.
Huh.
If some of those ingredients aren't familiar to you, coir, for example, is a fiber from the coconut husk.
Wow.
I didn't realize that.
No.
Proven says the ingredients in potting mixes are bulking agents used to prevent heavy water saturation. That makes potting soil lighter and easier to handle than potting soil. A major bonus with filling flower pots. The lighter weight alone would be the number of one thing that appeals to gardeners.
Amen to that.
Now, that's potting mix. What is potting soil?
Hopefully it has some soil in it.
Hopefully. Potting soil is soil enhanced with enrichments like compost and peat moss. Soil is the layer of the earth that supports plant life and is naturally contained various broken down organic matter from plants and animals, as well as minerals and microorganisms. Potting soil is denser and heavier than potting mix. Proven says you'll definitely notice the difference if you're trying to pick up or pack multiple bags of potting soil in the back of a Prius.
Yeah.
And yes, I drive a Prius, and yes, it gets between 49 and 55 miles per
Oh,
gallon in the city.
I read something yesterday.
Lay it on.
Sorry, off the subject, but on a Prius.
Go ahead.
Toyota with a Prius, I don't know which Prius, maybe the newest one, has broken Guinness record with 93 miles a gallon.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's got to be a new one.
Yeah.
I filled the Prius up.
I would imagine
What-
hybrid as well.
Yeah, I have a hybrid, a Prius hybrid, and it's self-charging. We don't plug it in. I filled it up, and I was pretty low, and had I had less than a quarter of a tank. It held 7.6 gallons.
Wow.
It was $20.40 at the Marathon over next to Walmart at East Knoxville. And for 7.6 gallons and $20, I can drive 396 miles average.
Wow.
Folks, you can't do that on a motorcycle.
Mm-mm. No.
And it's a comfortable little ride. So just food for thought. Now,
Get a moped.
because potting soil, can you see me on a moped
I know.
with my little helmet on
Me too.
and my little glasses? And I would say my hair blowing in the wind, but I cut all that off. Heck with hair.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it.
Yeah. Mine's getting thinner and thinner. I have to watch and make sure because I like visors. I have to make sure my head don't get burnt.
Well, I decided at 61, I might as well go ahead and let my hair grow out now. So,
Well, you definitely got the beard going on.
yeah, well, the beard.
Because soil is dug out of the ground and contains the remains of long lost organism, it's not sterile. That's why it's best for outdoor use. Eldred Stafkoff says, and while potting soil is formulated for outdoor pots and raised beds, that's what you're going to use in your outdoor pots, your raised beds, it's okay to use it in the ground. Don't confuse potting soil for soil or topsoil, though. These soil-rich media should not be used in pots without amending for drainage and nutrients. So the thing about it is, if you take regular soil and you put that in a pot, that's going to become dense.
Mhm.
So you can end up with too much water, which is going to end up with fungus and rotting your plants
Yeah,
and so
root
forth.
rot.
In general, potting mixes are best for containers, both indoor and outdoor, and seed starting. Today's potting mixes are specially formulated for various plants and uses, so it pays to do your homework. If you're starting seeds, it's best to buy a seed starting mix that is developed for optimal seed germination and growth. For your indoor plants, there are potting mediums for African violets, cacti, or succulents, orchids, or all-purpose mixes. Save the potting soil for outside. The key difference is the presence of soil, and I would use that only outdoors, Eldred Stafkoff says. Another thing to think about is the price. Potting soil is more expensive than garden soil, which is more expensive than topsoil. Potting mixes are the priciest of all. So when you fill a 6 by 6 foot raised garden bed with potting soil, you'll be out a pretty penny. Don't be afraid to take soil and amend it to meet in the middle between potting soil and potting mix. Same thing with houseplants. I add adamants such as Pyrtle, vermiculite, pumice, or orchid bark to make the mixes better for the plant I have. That is a personal preference and something learned from experience. Many potting mixes contain fertilizer as a substance that retains moisture, but Eldred Steinkoff prefers to avoid those additives so she can make the medium her own. You can do the same, gain confidence in indoor and outdoor gardening. That being said, one of the things I learned when I was working with pottings, with working with outside with uh, raised beds, when you make a raised bed and you're trying to fill that thing a foot or 2 foot deep, it's super, super, super expensive to do that. So what we utilize in that is we will fill that up halfway with cardboard, newspaper, all those things that deteriorate. You can also utilize your leftover scraps, coffee grounds, banana peels, you know, leftover vegetables, all those kinds of things that make compost. You know, compost is good for that. So you don't have, I mean, you can fill that up and then have, half of it so that you can plant. So that's another way to do that as well. We're going to take that next time out and go ahead and get that one out of the way when we come back. I'm going to tell you why your wiper blades squeak on your car and what you can do about that and some of the causes for that. Because I hate that noise. I just can't, I can't stand that noise. So I did a little research on that. We're going to talk about that. Now, listen, the phone line's open. There's still time for you to call. 865-577-4885, 865-577-4885, or text us on the Miracle Method message line at 865-255-3911. It's Rick's House Live. Your praise, 96.3 FM. Good Saturday morning to you. Go Vols. Hang on, y'all.
Now listen, if you think you've not been to Baker Boys, y'all tried Baker Boys fixing yet? Oh my good gracious! Let me tell you something. It's on Cherry Street. If you get off on Cherry Street and turn toward Magnolia, and you'll see Baker Boys down there on the right. He's got a 30-inch pie like not even get in my van and got the door closed. That's what I'm talking about. And I'm telling you, a slice of pizza feed 10 kids. Baker Boys is the place. I'm telling y'all, go by and see them and tell them that we sent you, and they're going to take care of you. We're proud to see you, and we'll be glad to feed you and your family. Great place for after church on Sundays. Go by and see the team. Baker Boys Pizza and tell them that Rick's House sent you.
Hey, yeah, Rick Allen. It's Rick's out on the radio show on the road. And let me tell you about my friends at Milk Trail Salvage and Old City Kitchen. Joel Bocker and the team there have been friends of this program for a long time, and they want to be your friend. Friends, they have got the best cabinets, the best products. You say, Rick, is it seconds? No, everything's first quality. They do have some seconds, so you want to get a deal, but not on kitchens and not on about everything they have in the store. So trust me, they're part of our team. They want to be part of your team. And in this environment where building materials are going through the roof, they're going to have the best prices on the best products in Knoxville or anywhere in the surrounding area. Call them today. See them online. KnoxvilleSalvage.com, OldCityKitchens.com. A Rick's House favorite.
Hey, y'all, it's Rick Allen. Let me tell you about one of my favorite companies, Top Septic. If you need a new drain field, or maybe you're having a problem with your existing drain field, or maybe the septic tank just needs to be pumped, they are the folks that can handle it for you. They know what they're doing. They're an American-owned company, run by a veteran who wants to give you the type of service that you're expecting. Top Septic. Call them today, 865-599-1690. 865-599-1690.
What happens when you take 20 years of experience hanging metal on NASCARs and you put that into another business? The business I'm talking about, Miracle Method Resurfacing in Knoxville. My buddy Chris Stacy and his team are there for the detail, there for as good as a job can get. They understand working with tight tolerances and working with a finish that has to be almost perfect. If you're thinking about redoing your countertop, maybe you're thinking about redoing that avocado green bathtub, or maybe you're thinking about that epoxy floor for your hot rod in your garage. Ain't nowhere else. Miracle Method of Knoxville is the place that can help your dream come true about that new tile surface or any other finish in your home. Call them today, 865-693-5522. 865-693-5522. Tell them Rick's House sent you. Hey, y'all, this is
Rick Allen, host of Rick's House Home Improvement Radio Show, right here on 96.3 FM, Praise FM. Let me tell you about my friends Tyler and Xavier and the team over at Weekend RV Center. Whether you're looking for sales or service, parts or storage, they're the team that can make that happen for you. I trust them. They've been there with me when we're on the road all over the United States, and they'll be there for you. They can work on your RV. They can take your RV in on a trade. They can sell you a new RV, but most of all, they're going to treat you like a family. You're not dealing with some big corporation. You're dealing with local folk who want to do a great job and take care of you. Weekend RV Center, 865-457-4424, 865-457-4424, or find them online at weekendrvcenter.com.
The way to start your Saturday projects every week. It's Rick's House. Home improvement advice done right.
Good Saturday morning to you. Welcome back to Rick's House live in Praise 96.3 studios. Your Praise 96.3, best Southern gospel in Knoxville and surrounding. We're proud to be a part of the team here. Lance and I coming to you this morning, bringing you Rick's House live, Rick's House Radio Show on the road live. We're excited to be here. I want to say a shout out this morning, Miss Ruby. Always good to see you, Miss Ruby. You know, we love you, girl. And also, fellow Eagle sisters, Kelly Roth and Christina. And so we are happy to see you guys this morning. Thanks for joining us, Tim, Mix, Uncle Butch, John, Brian, the whole gang listening this morning, as well as Josh and so many more of you. We appreciate you, Gina, being part of what we do each and every Saturday morning, allow us to come into your house. Thank you so much for allowing us to do that. Now, as we finish it up here, I don't know where the time goes. I'm just catching my breath.
I know, right?
No, I'm just getting rants. I'm rolling this morning. I feel good.
I'm getting anxious here about the pizza you got the other day.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot to tell you about that.
Yeah, you did.
So Busy Bee Plumbing, another great friend of the program, Lance and his wife Deanna. We had a great meeting at Baker Boy Pizza with Jeff and Chris, whole team over there. It was packed. I mean, absolutely packed. It was awesome. They're still there popping in pizzas out, hand doing them and everything.
Oh,
man, I'm telling you. And so, my buddy Lance is Sicilian, and he has Sicilian heritage. And so, I introduced him to Jeff, and Jeff's awesome. We love Jeff and Chris and all of them over there.
Jeff's got a lot of red.
Yeah, he's all right, and then he's all right for a Florida boy. We like him. But anyway, so he said, "What can I get y'all?" And I said, Jeff, Lance has got a special request. He said, talk to me. The answer is yes. Talk to me. And so he said, what do you want, brother? He said, I want a pizza. He said, I want a pie with red sauce and cheese and ricotta cheese and gloves.
Oh,
Yes.
no.
Put that stinky cheese on that
Oh,
pizza.
no.
Hear me? Oh my goodness. He popped that bad boy in the oven and brought it out. And oh my goodness, it looked phenomenal. And Deanna said, do you have any banana peppers? He said, yes, ma'am.
Wow.
And you talking about fancy, if you tried it, I'm telling you,
No.
if you put that on top of your head, your eyeballs get beat out by your tongue trying to get to it. Oh my goodness. And he just said, hey, let's make it happen. He said, that's a good pie. And I said, man, that is an awesome pie. That's a fantastic pie. Angela Burns, good to see you this morning, girl. Glad to see you on the program with us. Appreciate that. Our Gibbs Eagles 4-0. So we're excited about that. UP plays tonight. It's going to be a good game. Went to the store yesterday, got the snacks. Now, I can't eat just a little bit of them, but I went and got them anyway. We're going to make a cornbread chili pie. You like that, don't you, man?
Oh, you know it.
Cheese and cornbread, good buttermilk cornbread, bacon grease in that cast iron skillet, 500 degrees. Drop it in there. It's got homemade chili in it. Whoa.
Sorry, I just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
Bless him. Y'all pray for Vance. Pray for him. He don't know how to eat. He don't know nothing about no hillbilly caviar. I'm working on it.
You can tell by looking at me, I know how to
I'm
eat.
working on it.
It's maybe not the right things.
I had my little buddy, my little nephew with me, and when he came out to the station with us, I went. He said, "Uncle Rick." I said, "Yeah, baby." He said, "I want to try one of them." I said, "You hungry?" He said, "Well, no, I'm okay." I said, "Yeah, I know. You told me yesterday you want to try one of those new Chick-fil-A uh, peanut pimento honey chicken sandwich."
Wow.
And he said, "Yeah." So I went and got that and waffle fries, and he was gobbling that up. And so that's when I stopped over at Burger Boys and got me some perfectly cooked. And I'm not a fan of gizzards because gizzards taste like they're chewing on cartilage to me. I mean, that's just, I mean, it's a texture thing. But it accidentally had some gizzards in it, and they were so good and so tender and so soft. I'm just telling you. I asked White. I said, "White, you want to try one of these?" Nope. I said, "They're good for you." Nope. And we want to give a special shout out to White this morning. He's down at the Sampson Field Complex over at Fort Sanders competing in Special Olympics this
Wow.
morning.
That's awesome.
And White got selected last year to compete for the state of Tennessee in
No way.
Special Olympics in Florida. Yeah, and won.
And one.
Yeah, he does everything. And they compete in Gatlinburg. He ice skates, he snow skis, he runs all the marathons. He bowls. He's on the bowling team. He
Great.
does it all. He does it all.
That's awesome.
Very athletic young man. Now, why do you windshield wipers holler at you? And there are several reasons for this. And I can tell you most things about your house. If I can't tell you, then I know somebody that can tell you. Well, thank you, Angela. I appreciate that. Miss Angela says I look skinny. I'm down 176 pounds, Miss Angela. And Angela, of course, done a great job. Her and her husband, done Tim and Josh, done a fantastic job on their weight loss journey. And I'm getting there. I'm going to have to break down and buy some new clothes. Because these are my baggy clothes I wear when I come into the studio to be comfortable. But you know,
Yeah, well, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Be comfortable.
you got to be comfortable. And then when I go out, I wear my ones that fit. You know.
Yeah.
So
I get to look at him all baggy.
Yeah, that's right. I did shave.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you got a haircut.
You missed a little bit there around your mouth.
Yeah, I know it. Well, that just keeps growing back, so I'll leave it alone. So anyway, let's talk about why dirty glass. Number one reason. Dirty glass is the most common cause of squeaky windshield wipers by far. Small particles of dirt, sand, or road salt sprinkled across the glass can cause friction when the wipers pass over, leading to unwanted squeaking. Now, let's
It
not.
could be those $10 wiper blades you bought, too.
Yeah, well, that's true. The other thing is when you talk about clad windows, this is something that we're going to do a whole show on windows when I get my window guys in here from different places. It is they put coatings on the cladding, and the reason they have you wipe your windows down once a year, and if you're not wiping your windows down once a year, it can void your warranty, whatever kind of window you have, whether it's vinyl or clad or aluminum or whatever. Because what happens is dirt sticks to the cladding, and it's typically salt or calcium or a mineral in the air that will stick to the outside of the window, and then dirt sticks to that. It's like primer, and then the paint sticks to primer. It's the same thing with windows. Let's say you got a swimming pool in your backyard. Chlorine. Chemicals come off the pool, stick to the window, then the dirt sticks to that. So that's why you have to wipe it down, because you have to get the substrate off of it, because that's what catches the dirt. If you're at the ocean, within 2 miles of the ocean, and you don't wipe your windows down once a year, you void your warranty, because salt comes from the ocean. 3 minutes sticks to your cladding, and then dirt sticks to that. So that's why you have to do that. Same with the windshield on your car. While dirt and debris are often build up on the windshield, wiper blades can collect it too. If you've cleaned your windshield and the squeaking still happens, lift your wipers, examine the rubber squeegees closely. If you notice the buildup of dirt, wash them thoroughly. Use a toothbrush to remove the dirt from all the nooks and crannies along the blade. If you've replaced the wiper blades or you don't see any dirt on the blade, the rubber squeegees may still be coated with the protective oil from the factory.
Yep.
especially if your wipers are new. Like dirt and debris, this oil can cause squeaking. Remove it by cleaning wipers very carefully with rubbing alcohol.
Wow.
Some manufacturers place protective sleeves over the wiper blade in the packaging. Remember to remove that before expecting good results. Yeah, you got to take the package off.
Yeah, that helps.
Um,
Can't just cut a hole in the package and attach the
Absolutely.
blade.
And of course, the last thing is failing wipers. If your wiper blades, windshields are perfectly clean but squeaking persists, there may be a structural issue with the wipers. Rubber screws wear out.
Yeah,
You
they
know,
do.
they get brittle over time. You know, they lose their ability to deflect. And when
They
they move
start
across
ripping.
the windshield, they start ripping, all those kinds of things. And so it's important to keep those in good shape, especially. You know, I've noticed with all the folks that are moving in here, and it'll be raining a little bit, and they'll have their hazard lights on going 10 miles an hour down the interstate because they're not. And have you noticed that? It's like Bush. You don't know. It's like us Southern people trying to drive in snow. We don't know.
Not sure where you came from, but go
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, well, I didn't say that.
No, I didn't. Either.
No.
Well, okay, maybe I did.
So all those things are important. Now, coming up, I don't know who we'll have on next week. I'm working on that. We're gonna have Miracle Method back in here. Of course, we've got Stephen from Yes Insurance coming on at the end of the month. Talk all about Medicare and house insurance. And
That'll be a good program.
it'd be a great program. And he told me that if you buy in a rural county and you're wanting to put home insurance on your house, good luck. He said you better get your billfold out. He said because insurance companies are denying coverage to rural areas because of the time it takes for fire departments and emergency services to get there.
Oh my goodness.
And so this is an issue. And folks, let me tell you something. I heard on the news this morning about a family that has had life insurance and disability insurance and all these insurances for their whole life to retire. And now that company got sold and bought out, and their insurance is going up 25% per year for the next 4 years. It's
No
going up
way.
100%. And these people have had a policy 30 years.
Oh man.
So it's a different ballgame. And so we're going to get the inside scoop from Stephen, who knows all about these things. He's got an agency here in Knoxville, also in Chattanooga. We're going to have 2 agents with him. So plan for that show on the 28th of the month. Have your questions ready to call us in. Call us in on the call-in line or text those to us at the Miracle Method text message line so that we can get those answers for you. Be sure and holler out at Miracle Method of Knoxville, Surface Refinishing, Chris Stacy, and Gary. 693-5522, 865-693-5522. Tell them we sent you. And folks, it is so important that when you talk to my sponsors, please tell them that we sent you. It helps me, it helps you, it helps them. I want to tell you, grab those babies, love them, hug them. God bless you. Thank you for listening. We'll be back next week with Rick's House. Hit me up during the week at rickshouseradio.com. God bless you. We'll see you next time. Have a good one.
Jones Attorney is Win Studios. Thanks to Jones.com. This is your Breeze 96.3 WJBZ FM, Seymour, Knoxville. Breeze 96.3. Here we go. Well, it's time to make that change. Pull up